Hey friends! If we haven't yet met, I'm Leah Simon. I'm the founder of the Box Co and the creator of the Comeback Box. And I built the box in 2020 to really help all of us process the change, uncertainty, maybe some fear and anxiety. And throughout my journey, I've met so many amazing people. And I'm bringing guests on to unbox their expertise for you. So today I have Rob and Jess Glatz. They are two educators who have been working in the public school system for over 20 years. Rob is also a highly recognized and awarded athletic coach, and Jess also has her own business, Mindful Healing Practices, where she is a master Reiki and yoga instructor, and she's created a course called Creative Wellness that she's also integrated into the classroom. So I'm going to be bringing them both on today so we can talk about how to support schools, teachers, and our children and students through this interesting transition that's potentially giving us some unique challenges. So Rob and Jess, let me bring you on up. So you should be seeing an invite. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great.
I'm good.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I love the portrait of your girls in the back.
Oh, that one is my all-time favorite. So thank you so much. I like
It's
to sit on the other side
beautiful.
and look at it.
Right.
Yeah. So how is it in Ohio today? How's the weather?
Dreary.
It's a little dreary, but hey, I guess that we're looking for the Mayflowers now. We've got the April showers out of the way.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. Well, whenever you're ready to come out to California, it's
Yeah.
like 80 today.
It was 80
Sounds
this
great.
weekend. We did enjoy the weekend.
Beautiful. So I got your note that you two are going to do the box again, which is super exciting.
I have recently started my revisit number 2 to the comeback box. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, for everyone, Rob and Jess did the box. Was it September?
Beginning of school.
Last year?
Yep.
Yeah.
And you did it together, which I thought was super great.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
And why have you decided to do it again?
I wanted to revisit it just because, like we're rounding into the end of the school year, and that's always like a time that seems pretty intense for lots of reasons, and you kind of get a little lackluster in everything that you're doing. And I was like, you know what, I need some time and some self-reflection on where I'm at and where I need to go and where I want to be. And it was really interesting because like my whys, obviously this is the second time I've done it, but my why was different and where I was going with it was different. So we did not choose to do it together this time around. It's a personal journey this time, but
Okay.
yeah.
And Rob, are you doing it again too, just separately?
Yeah, I think it's great, to kind of take an inventory of kind of what's going on. This is a very busy time of the year for us. And I mean, we're wearing many hats, as a teacher and a coach and all that. And just like everyone is, it's kind of crazy during these unprecedented times. But I think it's nice to just kind of take an inventory of where we're at, where we want to go, and just kind of center ourselves and, find a good, happy medium here to kind of correct ourselves and see how we can improve ourselves before we go out and try to help others.
Yeah, totally. No, I love that. I know that people do it several times and kind of see different things each time. I don't know if you saw, I'm actually doing my own box right now. Yes, because I built it for everyone, to help people take care of themselves, and then launched this company and realized I stopped taking care of myself. So I'm going through it, and it is like interesting how the cards will be sort of serendipitous to something that's going on in my life that day. So I feel like it would be really different, every time you do it.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's nice that, they're kind of broken up into little chunks. So, it doesn't take that much time, but, they're pretty potent messages.
Oh, I'm so glad. And how was it when you two did it together?
I really liked doing it together. First of all, I really liked the accountability. And, you know, like we are partners in crime in life. And so it was kind of fun to go through this and just learn a little about each other, you know, like when we did the love languages, to look at them, and we were on separate computers and we're like, okay, go.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we guessed what we thought we were, and then we talked about what we thought we were. And, you know, it was just unique to be in it together and compare what we had simultaneously.
Was it hard? Like, would you sit down and read the cards together, or would you kind of do it on your own and then talk about it together?
No, we did it together. We would read them together, and then we might like write down what we were thinking or do the activities separately, but still literally like sitting at the table together.
Right.
And then share what we came up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard other couples say it like sparks conversation, but also just is sort of a different thing than like date night. But it's something that they can like do together after the kids are asleep. You know, like a little couples activity.
Yeah, it kind of made us look at things like from a different perspective. So it was kind of refreshing.
That's
it was
cool.
Nice. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I would, you know, just love to talk to you both as educators and really help everyone. I've been talking to so many people at different altitudes, teachers who are struggling through this time. Like a lot of teachers have gotten the box because this has been a really challenging year.
Sure.
And I've also been talking to a lot of parents who are doing the box because it's been a challenging year to be a caretaker.
Yeah.
And the box gives them a way to take care of themselves. But we have a lot of conversations about what's going on with their kids. And so, you know, I would just love to chat about like, how can we as a community support our schools, support our teachers, and also how do we support our children and our students? Because this is this presented a challenging year for everyone. So I don't know where is best to start in terms of like, maybe just tell us as two teachers, what's going on with you two right now? How are you feeling about everything right now?
Well, it's definitely been a challenging time, you know, for myself and, you know, and our colleagues as well. And I think that, you know, during this, you know, global pandemic and all this change has kind of made me kind of take a step back and allowed me to kind of make sure that I kind of look before I leap, because you never know like what's going on behind the scenes.
Right.
And I think that has really kind of helped to relax myself a little bit more, you know, realizing that people have circumstances that are, you know, under the radar that we may not see, that we just need to kind of keep in mind. So that's something that I think has changed in the last year. Is, you know, I'm much more understanding, flexible, cautious, you know, about, you know, people's situations.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like as educators, no matter where you are in the country or even in the state, it's so different. You know, some teachers are at home trying to manage teaching the kids on the screen and their own kids and their partner working in the other room. Some are blended where the day is literally different every day, and they have different kids and different schedules and may even be in different rooms. And other communities, you know, are like all in or all community, or all e-learning. And, you know, it's so different, but it's such a struggle for everyone. And I feel like this year has made me really value my time in the classroom. And having taught virtually and gone back to full-time classes has just really made me value my job and what I do and being in the classroom with the kids. And, you know, as far as supporting teachers goes, like, just like the love languages, you know, everybody's interpretation of that is different. You know, like what makes me keep going, and when I'm having a low day and I'm like, oh, it's so hard, you know, getting an email from a former student that, you know, just says, hey, you know what, you made a difference. Here's what I'm doing now. Just wanted to let you know. Or an email or a phone call from a parent like, hey, I really appreciated that you took the time to XYZ. You know, that fills me to a place that makes me feel supported and like what I'm doing matters, and that I can carry on through the rest of the year no matter my pandemic situation.
Okay, so just even like a quick note or email to a teacher, whether
Yeah,
it was from a student or a parent.
right.
Absolutely.
You know, like that's my love language. That's what I like,
Are
you know,
you words of affirmation?
and service,
Okay,
acts of
and
service.
acts of service. Okay.
But you know what? Other teachers might love a gift card to Starbucks or Panera and some gel pens, because you know what? We all love some new gel pens. I don't
Oh,
care
yeah.
who you are. We all love some good gel pens.
Okay.
Or even the parent that will email me and be like, hey, I know it's towards the end of the year. What do you need for your classroom? Are you out of tissues? Are you out of sanitizers?
Okay.
In my daughter's class, parents just bought them all pizza on a Friday night or on a Friday afternoon, like in the classroom, like just those things that say, hey, we value what you are doing. Keep up the good work. We know
Right.
you're not doing it for the money, you know?
Right. Okay. So just ways to show you they value you, ways to give you recognition, whether it's words or little things for your classroom.
Yeah. And really, Danielle, I knew this was going to be our focus. And I really thought about, you know, how are we supporting teachers? And really, I think a large portion of that is teachers need to know when to support themselves. They need to know when to take that self-care, when to step back, when to practice moments of mindfulness. And whether that is, you know, getting up early to do a little bit of yoga sesh before you go in for the day, or taking a gratitude walk. You know, small things can make a big difference to set yourself right, to support yourself for the rest of the year.
You know, in your first card, it was, you know, what is your why? And I think that, you know, sometimes we need to revisit that. You know, why are we in the career that we're doing? What do you enjoy about it? You know, figuring that out. And I think revisiting that every once in a while kind of rekindles your enthusiasm for, you know, your daily routines.
Okay, so for teachers, for themselves, just
Sure.
one, taking some time to take care of themselves because they're giving so much to other people, but then also kind of reconnecting with why they got into this and
Yes.
why they love teaching, because it's a challenging time.
Yeah, because it looks so different this year. Why we got into teaching is not necessarily what is happening right now. And I've found in my classroom that even incorporating things with my students was really beneficial. So like a few minutes of breath work as you're transitioning. Every day, beginning of my class, I put on a breathing animation. You know, you can just Google search one up, breathing animation. I have the kids put everything down, feet on the floor. We take 5 or 6 breaths. And to just set the tone, can really set the tone and lift the mood. Gratitude practices in class. Don't take more than 5 minutes to give them, hey, everybody, I want you to stop right now and I want you to think of one green food you're thankful for. Who wants to share?
That's so just for everyone watching. So that would be a gratitude practice, just asking kids like what they're thankful for.
Yes, and a little prompt with it. I mean, it's really hard to tell someone, I need you to change your curriculum and be mindful in class every day.
Right.
But if you can do something in 3 minutes that brings you to where you need to be and takes those kids where they need to be, or at least a little closer,
Right.
I think can be very beneficial and can be super easy and something like that. And
Now,
just helps nurture everybody.
Totally. Do you think that that's also something that people can do virtually?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, if I was with you right now and I said, all right, we are going to take 4 seconds right now, and I want everybody to take a deep breath in through their nose and out through your mouth. Okay, 3rd graders, I want you to pretend like you're smelling the most delicious pizza and blow out that birthday candle.
Oh, cute.
There, we've done it.
That's a very, great way to make it inclusive for young kids to talk about it as blowing out a birthday candle. That's great.
Thanks.
I love
Only
it.
to kind of circle back to you, about how you can, show appreciation for, teachers and also, coaches as well, as kind of, teachers and coaches have, end goals, whether it's a championship game or whether it's an end of course exam or whatever. And you got to realize that they kind of, every teacher and coach has their own mosaic pattern of lessons that they've picked up along the way and things that they can do. And you kind of got to realize that, they are professionals, and, it's important to kind of trust the process in which they are leading your child too. I've been to several coaching clinics where, I'll have one speaker who's coached, national champions, say, for example, weight training has no place in distance running. I'm a track and field and cross country coach. And then he's a very successful coach. And then I'll have someone else come in and say, weight training, strength training is the most important part of my program. They're also very, very successful and have, coached national champions. It's just important to realize that I guess there's many different ways to skin a cat and many different ways to go about that. And you got to realize that, that teacher has a plan, that coach has a plan, and, just kind of trust that, as a professional, they've got your child's best interest in mind.
Yeah, and I kind of hear that both ways. I mean, one, I hear about parents trusting the teachers, but I also hear it for teachers about what is your unique way, what are your unique gifts that you want to bring to the classroom, and just sort of adding your own flair. Mm-hmm. Like, Jess, if you're doing breathing techniques and gratitude exercises, like Rob, I don't know if you're doing that or if you're taking a different approach.
Yeah, we do actually integrate that quite a bit into my training for my team.
Okay.
Jess kind of coached up our team on that and did a great job with that this year. And it's kind of neat because I see my kids, we had a track meet over the weekend, and I saw them on the starting line, recentering themselves and working on that. It's just breathing is one thing you can control about your body and your environment. And so to be able to take that time and kind of, if you're going through a stressful moment, it's a great way to center yourself. Whether you're getting ready for a track meet or, take a test or,
sure,
what you're doing that might, give you a little bit of anxiety, it's a nice way to be able to calm down and move forward.
And when you're first integrating these practices, are there lots of giggles? Like, how receptive are high school kids to breathing exercises and gratitude practices?
I think that anytime you take a high school kid or really anyone out of their comfort zone to try something new, at first they're going to be a little bit hesitant. But I think it has to do with delivery. And I think if you have some enthusiasm for it and actually show them that, these things can work, I think that they really buy into it, because it is very useful and there's so much data and research out there. I mean, I heard a Navy SEAL speak about, before he jumped out of a helicopter, he would do these kind of things, whether it's, like I said, so whether it's doing that or on a line or starting line or, getting ready for a test, I think that kids can see that other people use this and that helps out. And so I think that they can kind of apply that to their lives as well. And it's neat to see them reciprocated.
And, we run the gamut. Like, I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and he's at the high school level. And then, we collaborate together at the high school level. And so the way that you present it, yes, it's different. The way we would present it to 6th graders just coming in off of 5th grade is totally different than the dynamic we would create with a junior in high school.
Okay. Any tips about how to kind of nuance it for different
I definitely feel like you have to be comfortable with it. So like,
right.
I can't go in and not do any of my own gratitude practices and then try to sell it to a kid. Like, they will see right through you and they will eat you alive. Hands down. Like, knowing that we practice gratitude around our dinner table with that with the kids, be like, oh, last night at the dinner table, we talked about this, and, show that we are using it outside of the classroom makes it easier to pick up. And again, like in my room, I don't make it any other way. Day one, I have that breath work up and I tell them, this is my version of bell work. This is my morning work. You walk in, this is what you do every day. It's not 5 questions of math, but I want you to stop. I expect you to participate because this is my requirement for my class.
Right. And so you kind of need to own it. You need to take it seriously. Don't apologize for it. Don't be like, hey, I know this is a little weird, but we're going to try this today.
Right.
No. Okay.
No. Got to sell it.
Got to sell it.
Sell it. Gold.
Okay. Yeah. I think something that's been interesting this past year is we've all been talking about mental health a lot more. I feel like the stigma about talking about mental health and these different things, like the stigma is getting removed. And I feel like what it's also exposed is that we were never taught basic mental and emotional wellness skills growing up. I mean, we're taught reading, math, science, home economics. Like I was taught how to sew a button. But I think I was 30 before somebody talked to me about that there's a difference between thoughts and feelings. So I think the fact that, the box is doing it for, older children and adults, but I think the fact that you're integrating this into middle school, high school education is amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's
Rob,
great.
Sorry?
It's a great daily practice to integrate there.
Yes, and so important. So we kind of talked about parents supporting teachers. Rob is an athletic coach. Any specific ways you're looking for support with your teams?
I think, as we've learned, throughout these crazy times, I think the connectivity is so important. And, things that parents can do is just, it's a great way to be.
Oh.
Today, what are you looking to achieve? I think that's a really good way to kind of connect with your kid and then kind of go through, what the coaches has going on and, reaching out to the coach and saying, what are some things, some ways that my kids can improve? Or, one of the biggest things is communication. We did a track workout today and some of my kids were down, and afterwards I was like, what's going on? They're like, Coach, I had this big AP exam today, and I studied all day Saturday and Sunday, and I'm pretty worn out. Just kind of collecting that data is great, but if I would have known that beforehand, then I would have been able to make some kind of adjustment. So I think that just communicating, things that are good or things that are going on with your child's life, because, the kids aren't always going to communicate that well. I always really appreciate that. If a parent lets us know of some kind of an outside circumstance that may be affecting their child, it helps us to better serve them and individualize a training plan or whatever for that individual situation.
Both in the classroom and on a team?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. Especially, you can see if a kid's down, but it really helps, like parents will send me, hey, we had an issue, a pet died, or, a family member is having a hard time or whatever. Whenever I get into that background info, I just really appreciate it because it allows me to, better connect with my kids. And, coaching and teaching is all about relationships. So anything that we have in order to be able to strengthen that relationship is so important. So yeah, just the communication with coaches and teachers is paramount. And, you want what's best for your child, and your coach does too. So if you can kind of work together as a team on that, it makes a pretty dynamic experience.
Yeah. And, I've been talking to a lot of parents who their children have fallen behind this past year. They struggled with virtual learning. And once they fall behind, it seems really hard for them to catch back up. And, how much can you really rely on a teacher who has so many students? So I'm just wondering if you've seen this and if you have any specific advice. If your child has fallen behind significantly, how can they catch back up?
You want to go first?
I think that there are some kids that are going to fall behind, in a couple of different ways, but I feel like, a lot of teachers, like I said, our professionals are going to be able to see the way that the kids have gaps and adjust those gaps. And, there's many different techniques that teachers can use in the classroom to kind of adjust that. But there's also some things that kids can do outside of class. Our kids are working on things outside of class. But I think one thing is we want to make sure they're not overwhelmed. So I think it's important that we find that balance so that we're not, having the kid come home from school. Okay, you got to do this, you got to do that. You got to work on catching up. You got to work on that, and kind of, working on a gradual progression, I think, helps them out. But I think something else is very important is teaching your child, to find self-confidence. Like, hey, you did a great job on this, let's keep that up. And wow, great job on this essay, what can we improve upon? And I think that, once you get that ball rolling with confidence, it really does a lot for those kids to kind of help improve their self-esteem and kind of their hunger for knowledge and, work in the classroom.
Mm-hmm. And okay. I feel like catching up with the gap over this last year, when you are not in a classroom with a teacher to catch you right away, when you're falling behind, I think virtual this year is just, and as a parent, when we were homeschooling our own kids and trying to teach online, like I can teach everybody else's kids. It's so hard to teach your own. Like, and so even if these parents are working so hard with their kid at home, those gaps can happen. And, as Rob said, finding a balance, because going to school, doing the homework, then hitting the tutor, and then going to speech class, and then going to soccer practice or whatever, like that is a lot, no matter how old you are.
Mm-hmm.
But summertime is a great time to focus on one or two skills when we're not overwhelmed with lots of schooling.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as a parent of kids in younger grades, hiring a high school kid to come over and work with your child on math or reading just for a little bit of time where it's not you, I think really is beneficial, or has been beneficial to us.
Absolutely.
In the past.
The kids are looking for their parents to be, parents, not teachers. And, we can be guilty of trying to be teachers since, we're both teachers and try to teach our kids. But, when they get it from someone, with a fresh perspective, I think it really does help them.
Okay, great. And I think even a high school student is a great option because, it's been a financially challenging year for a lot of people. So now to add on a professional tutor and all these things. Right. So, and what about for high school students? Would it be another maybe more advanced high school student, or do you have a recommendation of how they can catch up over the summer?
There's amazing technology available right now. There's progressive like math lessons or whatever that they can work on. There's wonderful things like Khan Academy out there. There's certain areas that the kids are falling behind on. There's very easy access to it. There's all kinds of different apps and websites that they can check out, and some of them are progressive. So I know our daughters are on some that if they're struggling apart, it says, hey, try this or try that. So it's pretty self-guided stuff, and many of these services are free.
Right, and so it won't let them progress unless they have mastered skill here. And then if they get one wrong, it takes them back, practice, practice, practice. And if they still don't master, they won't let them progress.
Okay, amazing. Any specific websites or apps you'd recommend people check out?
So the ones that we're on are, since they go to our district, they're provided by the district. So IXL is the math program that they are on, math and reading. So we don't purchase them as parents. They are paid for by our district as part of our program. So,
however, many districts I think are kind of in the same boat, and they know that they have needs for that. A couple of things that come across my email that they're looking for extended summer help. So I would definitely reach out to your school district and see what resources they have available. We're going to do some remediation stuff with teachers over the summer, free to families in our school district. So I'm sure that many districts are doing that to try to address these gaps that are coming.
Okay, amazing. Anything over the summer, any way that parents can be supporting schools and teachers over the summer to kind of set you up for success or end the year on a positive note?
I feel like over the summer, I need a break. Like, don't email me 4 weeks after school's out and ask me why your kid got that grade. Like, let's look at that now before the grade goes out to figure out why your kid has that grade. Don't wait 4 weeks into summer, middle of June, end of June. How come my kid got this grade? Let's look at that right now. That would really support me.
Okay.
Now, there are some instances, like, for example, for high school classes where, teachers may give, summer reading programs. And so obviously, not procrastinating on those types of things is usually, a good idea as well. So yeah, just check in with your teachers, see if there's anything that they should be doing over the summertime. And if there is, following that, would be, those guidelines and timetables would be great.
And make your kids go outside, not spend all day inside on a device.
And just connect with others.
Yes.
We feel that this is so important, making eye contact and, showing some empathy and, talking to other people about their interests, I think is super important, because if they make more connections in the classroom, whether it's with their students or with their teachers, it's going to be a more valuable learning experience for them.
Okay. Perfect. I think those are amazing suggestions. So handle things swiftly. Don't like be coming to you all throughout the summer.
Right.
So handle things now. And I know, giving end of year gifts is often, a token of appreciation. Are there any gifts that you particularly like or things you'd want to suggest?
I mean, I love my gel pens, but besides
Gel.
the gel pens, I mean, any token of gratitude and, like right now, the box would be a great gift because it's the summertime. We've got the time to reflect on ourselves, be with our family, and it's guided and it's helpful and it's easy to go through. And I feel like anything that has that self-help, self-exploration niche to it,
Okay.
summertime is when teachers have the time to look at that. And so that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Super fun.
Okay. Amazing. Rob, any recommendations, suggestions, gifts you love?
I'm not like, so my love language, like gifts is like the very bottom of mine. So, I mean, people have given me gift cards or whatever. I got a nail trimming kit, which was really interesting gift from parents. So
Once you get to high school,
Right.
but you don't they don't get Christmas cards or
right.
holiday items. Like once you get to high school, presents are like so out.
Yeah. So I think just think the gift of appreciation and just a note, definitely goes pretty well with me. But however, we did do an assessment with the entire staff, and actually most of the high school teachers, that was one of the lowest things that they wanted was, some kind of a gift or whatever. Just simply dropping a note is way more valuable.
Okay.
Just
The
or the gift of time. Is there anything I can do for you? Especially with coaching, that
Okay.
that really means the world to us. We don't need more stuff, but just, that time and that effort putting forth, we really do appreciate that.
Okay. Amazing. I hear a lot about how acknowledgement and recognition just goes so far. That's what I hear the two of you saying a lot.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be super respectful of your time. Thank you so much for joining. Is there anything we didn't get to that you two wanted to share today?
I don't think so. I did jot down a few things. Let me do a quick check here.
Rob, I know also.
I think it's great to just, what I liked about this box is, if you're going to be, a parent or a teacher and a coach, or, and you're just trying to kind of help others, I think it's good for you. I like to kind of try to put things in order and get a little bit of perspective and kind of identify things in my life that are going well that could be improved upon. And, going through this box, really did help me with that. So that's the reason that we're kind of revisiting it now. It's a very stressful time of the year, especially at the high school level with, graduation and scholarships and AP tests and, all kinds of things like that. So I think that, it's really important for us to all take a little moment out of our lives to, look at the inventory that we've gained and the perspective we gained from this box, and just kind of takes time to reflect on it. I'm a big John Gordon fan, and he talks about, going on gratitude walks. So every morning before I go to work, I go for a little walk and just kind of, think about what's going in store for me for the day, reflect upon what went well yesterday and what I can improve upon. And, there's many things in this box that kind of lead to that too. They give me some good things to think about during my gratitude walks.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks so much. I'm so glad to hear that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Jess, anything you wanted to share that we didn't get to?
No, I think we hit all the little nuggets that I wanted to add on. And it was an honor to be part of this conversation today.
Yeah,
so
thanks for
I
having
really,
us,
really
Leah.
appreciate it.
Amazing. And if anyone wants to reach out to you after this with like follow-up questions or to learn about your clinic, Rob, what's the best way to get in touch with you two?
You can find me there on the Instagram, Mindful Healing Practices.
Okay.
So that is probably the easiest. You can message me there, find me there.
Absolutely.
Okay. Amazing. Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining today. And thanks again, Rob and Jess. It's always a pleasure to chat with you too. And thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.